Welcome back to the Wargaming Den. Today's game of Kings of War sees my new Orc army against Gordon's Free Dwarves. We're playing at 2,300 points. The mission we're playing is Pillage. Let's have a look at my army list. So my Orcs are built round a horde of Longax. I've given them the Brew of Sharpness. They've got Phalanx and they're hitting on a 3+. So I'm hoping they're going to be a nice solid centre the rest of my army can work around. Two Great Axe regiments, two Axe troops that are to act as chaff. Kind of envision them being in a similar role to Ogre Warrior troops, or I think they're regiments in that army list. Out front, defense 5, so hopefully they'll take a hit and hold up some troops. I've got a Gore Rider troop with the skirmishers boots, there to try and get into flanks and just use that nimble as much as they can. Two Gore Rider regiments, again they're fast moving heavy hitters. A Troll Horde, I like the idea of trolls, I'm not sure how they'll do, they did quite well in the last game though. Regeneration, solid, not flashy, but I'm hoping they're just a wee bit different to the rest of the army, and they're slightly smaller footprint than the typical Orc units as well. Two War Drums to give the rallying to, a Crudger on a Gore with a Mournful Blade. Ideally he'll be looking for characters now that a dual list is 3 times your normal attacks. A God Speaker with Fireball, Drain Life and an Inspiring Talisman. A Troll Bruiser with the Staying Stone. Again, he's inspiring. He also has unit strength, so in some missions and games I see him as being quite useful. And finally, a Wing Slasher with the Pipes of Terror, who is to put a bit of pressure on the opponent's backline. So all up I got 15 units, 27 unit strength. Now let's have a look at the Free Dwarves. This is a really interesting list of Gordons. He ran Imperial Dwarves in our last game, very similar to this, but the Free Dwarves get Pathfinder, so pretty much all his units don't really have to worry about the difficult going terrain. So he's got 4 regiments of Brock Riders, he's got 4 troops of Brock Riders. That's a lot of speed, that's a lot of crazy, fearless, angry dwarves, really. 2 Ranger regiments. One's got Blessing of the Gods, which gives them elite, and the other is Hernia's hand-picked Rangers. They've basically got the equivalent of elite as well, which means they are quite deadly at ranged combat, and they're also not too shabby if they get in hand-to-hand as well. And they've got Hernius the Hunter with them, who himself has 3 attacks that hit quite often, as I discovered. As far as characters go, he's got 2 Lords on Brocks. One's with the Mournful Blade, which is really good now that Duelist has trebled, and one's got Blade of the Beast Slayer for taking out big, scary winged slashes, for instance. So, nice combination there between the 2 characters. They've got plenty of mobility, and he's going to be able to use them against the right opponents if I know Gordon. He's got Hernius the Hunter that goes with the Rangers, and he's got another Lord Sverri Eagleaxe on a Hellbrook. He's got 14 units and 21 unit strength. So yeah, as I said, very fast army, hard hitting. They're all fearless dwarves. 13 attacks for a troop, 26 for a regiment. Triple that if you get rear charged is going to be very, very scary, and he's got a lot more mobility. So let's get on with the game. Right, the mission we rolled up was Pillage. We haven't played this in a long time. I can't recall the last time I played it actually, but there are 7 objectives scattered across the table. 1 on the hill here, 1 on the here, 1 in the middle. There is 1 down in front of my troops here, 1 here, 1 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's got to be 1 somewhere. Oh, there it goes over there. So I deployed quite central. I wanted my long axe to avoid the terrain as much as I could. They're a big 25 centimeter wide base though, so they are going to be clipping terrain, the forest or the hills here. I've got the trolls protecting my flank with Great Axe behind them, got a war drum and the bruiser there, and I've got my God Speaker. He's not a God Seeker, he's a God Speaker here. Then I've got there's an Axe troop in front as well. Axe troop, Great Axe behind. Got Gore Riders, and I think I've got the Crudger in behind there, the Wing Slasher, and over here I've got the troop of Gore Riders, the regiment of Gore Riders, and the Crudger. So I'm wanting to try and grab these 4 objectives is what I've decided. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to try and ignore this side of the board as much as I can, anchor myself against this terrain here to stop flanking moves, though Gordon's got his slower ranges over here. It's the other side I've really got to worry about. He's loaded up with lots of Brock Riders, and he's got better speed than I have overall, so he's going to be dictating charges and things. So I've got to hope that I can weather the storm and ideally force the combat to be round in this area and hold on to this one. So let's have a look at the first turn.
Turn 1, not much action. The Dwarves shot at the Trolls. We took 8. I got 1 back with the regeneration, and I moved forward and tried for once not to charge Gordon's bait units. So onto the Dwarves turn 2. This is 3 Dwarves, the ones that are good in Pathfinder terrain, and we're playing mission 1, which is pillage.
Okay, and let's just slow that down a wee bit. That was a video I took during the game. So the hunters, the rangers over here with Hearn the Hunter, they fired at my my trolls and they put 8 wounds on them, but when I moved forward into the terrain to get a bit of cover, I managed to regenerate 1 of those. These guys are quite nasty, hitting on 4s and with elite or something, thanks to the hunter. Otherwise, Gordon's advanced most of his stuff. It looks like I put a wound on here. I think that was with my god speaker who'd moved into here, so it was terrain, so he's hitting on 5 with a fireball. Otherwise, Gordon, being Gordon, has set up a bit of a trap. So he's got a regiment of Brocks behind the hill where I can't see them, but he's put a troop onto the hill as bait. And usually I do take this bait from him. So what I decided to do, rather than throwing him regiments, usually I go, what the hell, and it all goes horribly wrong early on. I just threw the Crudger in to slow these guys up and maybe slow those guys down a wee bit, and I put a wound or 2 on them. But what he's done here is, if I'd sent a couple of units in, even if I killed them, he's set things up so that he's potentially got flank charges coming in over here, or if I turn over this way, potentially flank charges over here. So this time I'm trying to not take the bait and not charge headlong into that kill zone, and I'm actually just advancing the rest of my force a little bit, trying to keep my lines intact. I think I've got another one. There's the other war drum there, so he's a bit out of range of those guys. And the Crudger was over here, but I decided to move back over this way to support my infantry. This would means though that I'm blocking up my lines of sight quite a bit, so a bit indecisive as to what to do with the wing slasher. I probably should have started more over here. Gordon and I discussed at the end of the game, and I think he was right that maybe that would have been a better idea. But let's have a look at what happens on turn 2.
Turn 2 from the Dwarves. They've come charging in with great gusto. Wavered my trolls with the shooting from his range dangers, and he came charging in over here, killed a troop of Axe reformed, wavered a regiment of Gore Riders, came charging in, wavered my Crudger dude, and did 4 wounds against those guys. So not as successful as Gordon hoped, but still looking pretty impressive. My turn 2.
So a very effective turn from Gordon. So these trolls got wavered. I lost the troop. They got hit in the flank and the front by the troop and the regiment. These guys have 13 attacks, hitting on 4s, not worrying about terrain because of Pathfinder. And these guys, same, but 26 attacks. So they're a bit swingy, but when you're rolling 52 dice against a troop, the troop is not going to survive. And Gordon was able to reposition. his troops. He's got a lord on a beast there. He's also thrown another lord on a brock into the flank of my Crudger over there, wavered him. These guys were also wavered by this troop here because I was out of range of the war drum. They only took 4 wounds, but when your nerves 13, 15, you needed a 9 or 10 to waver them, I think. So that was good there. So a lot of pressure coming on here. He's also got another regiment up here ready to follow up. He's pulled back a bit over here. His shooters, I've got no answer to his shooters, so they can just sit there and plink away. There's an objective down there. There's one over even further across. So there's really 3 objectives that Gordon's able to get quite comfortably. These guys, I think, may have even backed up a wee bit, just because he doesn't need to engage my infantry here. He's going to try and punch a hole through my lines over here. And now I'm going, why did I move my wing slasher? I'm not going to be able to move back over here in my turn.
My trolls, 18 attacks, 1 wound. They were hindered though, so also that's excusable. I killed a troop of Brock Ridery dudes and reformed over here. The long axe went in and the great axe couldn't fight there because of being hindered, and I did 4 wounds over there. So on to turn 3 for the Brocks, the free dwarves. Turn 3, the Orcs took a hammering. Trolls died. Axe in here died. Some Gore Riders and Great Axe over here died as well. And my Crudger. So big hole punched in the lines, but Gordon's used a lot of his clock. We just have to slow down and hold on.
Just a wee bit slower for you. So yeah, bit of a disastrous turn for me. So trolls are gone. Axe troop is gone. I think they were out here and they managed to actually get shot by the rangers and taken off that way. Got absolutely hammered in here with charges and flank charges that took out my Gore Riders and also my Great Axe. So yeah, 4 units gone in that turn. That really hurt. But Gordon's probably used 45 minutes of his clock getting set up for this turn. Took quite a bit of brain power, but it turned out really well for him. But it does put the pressure on for the last 3 turns, so he's going to be pushing the turns through a bit quicker. Maybe he'll make some mistakes and I'll be able to capitalize on. But let's just see if I was able to get any of his units in response to this very bad turn for me.
In response, the Orcs didn't kill enough. We managed to kill 1 unit of Brocks in here with the long axe and my winged slasher. And, oh no, we killed a 2nd unit over there. On to turn 4. But the Dwarves haven't much time, so they're going to be going fast. Turn 4. Gordon's going super fast now. He killed the Great Axe. Didn't kill the War Drum. And he killed the Gore Riders over there. But in my last turn, that little War Drum got 4 hits and 4 wounds and took out the troop. So that was lucky for me. But I am well and truly running out of Orcs as I move on to turn 4.
And the game appears to be slipping away. So here we go. There's 52 dice coming in from those guys alone. A really good move here from Gordon. Had the Brock Lord on, or the Dwarf Lord on the Brock here. He used his individual pivot. I didn't think he could do it, but he could, which meant that he was able to see past my Troll Bruiser and slammed into the side here as well. And the big hell, whatever he is, guy took on my War Drum that took 7 wounds. One of them was so upset that he fell off the base, but they survived that maybe, but they definitely went. And as you can see, he's got the objective back here. There's another objective over there that he's got a troop of Brock Riders off screen. going towards the hands of God in the background. And over here, I'm just trying to determine the angles and lines of sight. And this was another really good move of Gordon's. My guys with phalanx, rather than continuing, I think I did a few wounds on them last turn, but I managed not to take them off. I think I fluffed it, and rather than coming back in, all he's done here is move back, because I've got to get through him, which is going to take me another turn, then potentially turn to try and get towards objectives. So they're doing exactly what they're paid to do. They're just chaffing me up and frustrating my very large, unwieldy horde of long axe. So good move there, Gordon. Very sensible play. Okay, and here I did get lucky. See this little guy here? That's the other dwarf lord on a Brock. He, in his last turn, he had to go over the wall, which is the only thing that does penalize the Pathfinder units. And they tried, and he had 5 attacks at my troop of Gore Riders, and he did no wounds. I think he might have got 1 hit and failed to land a wound on them, which meant because he's not mighty, I was able to charge over or through him and into the flank of these guys here. So that gives me double attacks. That puts them up to, what's that, 16. The wing slasher went into the front. There's another 10 attacks, hitting on a 3. Drain life from this guy. I think I took 2 wounds off him, did a couple more. And then, last but not least, the little war drum that could. That's 9 attacks from the rear. So I think I managed to say goodnight nurse to this particular regiment of Brocks, and fair enough too. I needed one little glimmer of things going my way.
Turn 4, I didn't kill that guy. I definitely didn't kill him. I did a wound, I think. I did about 8 wounds and reroll failed to kill that little troop, but I did get some a big regiment of Brocks over there. So we're feeling okay here. We're not feeling okay anywhere at all here. But Gordon's got far too many objectives. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 at least. On to his turn 5. Off we go. Very fast turn 5 from Gordon. Cleared out the troll and the war drum, and then the troop over here, and moved to take that objective. So objective there, Gordon's got it. Objective there, Gordon's got it. Objective there, Gordon's got it. There's a theme here. Another one. Currently he's got 5. I took some arrow shots here, and he moved back there. So I've got to do something very, very clever. Okay, I got that troop. I've just had to show my rear to those guys though. I killed his character. Turn 6 for Gordon. I think my long axe should die, and it should be a 5-1 or thereabouts, but let's see what happens.
Right, and at the end of turn 6, as we can see, the horde of long axe is no more. What's that? 78 attacks from behind from these guys, and they got some ranger dangers in the front, which well and truly destroyed them. He's grabbed that objective. There's another one just off there. He's got objectives here. He's got objectives everywhere. He's got 5. My war drum went over here, grabbed an objective, and my wing slasher flew off and grabbed this objective. So 5-2 to Gordon. Yeah, well played, Gordon. That's a very fast army. I think it's more dangerous than the last version, which had the Imperial Dwarves, simply because that Pathfinder meant that I couldn't use terrain to try and mitigate, like last game with the Imperial Dwarves going into bad going terrain really helped against my ogres. I think I still lost, but it was a wee bit closer in that regard, whereas these guys just ignore most of the terrain, so it was hindering me, but it wasn't hindering Gordon. And yeah, some really good charges came in. Like over here was decisive. I actually, looking at, I think about turn 3, I thought actually I can take this side and then turn to face. I thought I had enough to be able to manage that, but as it turned out, wasn't to be. Gordon kept his eye on the proverbial ball, focused on the objectives, had more than enough. After, was it turn 2, I lost 4 units, had more than enough units to be able to take the objectives that I wasn't prepared to contest anyway. If I stretched myself out too thin, I knew that I'd just get punched and rolled up. So yeah, it was a a comprehensive victory to Gordon, but I didn't feel at all out of the game till maybe towards the end of turn 5. I thought, oh, this isn't going to go so well, but I still felt in with a chance even then. And yeah, that's the cool thing about Kings of War. A couple of dice rolls can really change the game, and they didn't quite go my way. A couple of important ones, but that's not taking away from Gordon. He played it really, really well. It's a fast army. It's a hard-hitting army. It's a what are they? Frenzied or berserkers, or so. They're pretty cool. They've only got defense 4, but if he can gang up and hit where he wants to, as you could see, it can take quite a lot of stopping. So really enjoyed that, and really happy with the Orc army that I've painted up over the Christmas break, and look forward to more games with it. I've heard Orcs being described as one-dimensional. Maybe they are a little bit, but actually I kind of quite like Orcs just playing like Orcs. You just want to get in there and bash. You can take skulks and things like that if you want, but it's just a pretty straightforward army to use, and I'm not really wanting anything too complicated or sneaky. I like my ogres, and actually I think I'm going to enjoy playing these Orcs as well. But that's probably enough waffling for today. Thank you very much if you made it this far through. Look forward to having another game against Gordon soon, and I will try and get a few more battle reports of Kings of War recorded. So as per usual, if you like this, just hit like or subscribe or whatever. Leave some comments below if you feel like it. But until next time, ka kite anō. Take care.